question here. The front was Starnes. Anybody gets so go ahead, Starnes.
Kelvin, you guys have started second halves well, all year so far. What's been the key in that?
Different things. I think tonight was, when a coach is upset at his team, the answer is not always to scream and holler and fuss at them. You don't need to do that. That's just too predictable. It's like you play a crappy first half. Well, I bet Coach got on him. Sometimes you can have a much better effect by saying nothing. So that's kind of the approach I took. That wasn't the time. There was a time for that, but that tonight they knew. They knew that the two things that I preached to them that they can control. But we do have some guys that are beat up. J1 didn't practice yesterday. I actually held him at a shoot around this morning and gave him the option to play. I probably should have been the decision maker there and not played him. I think I started him second half, but got him out early. Tomorrow's an off day. So he'll be with John tomorrow, getting treatment on his knee. His knee has a tendency to swell up. It swell up yesterday, but it went down. Not all the way, but went down. He's played on that before. But, when you've been here 5 years and injury, he just didn't have it. I thought I could look into JVR's eyes and see all the way to Indonesia start the game. The young lady that was interviewing me after the game asked me, what adjustments did we make second half to get more rebounds? I told her the two words that are indigenous to effort. Try harder. So, now there's a lot of people way smarter than I am who will come up here and give you this long answer where we did this, no, we tried harder. It's amazing how that can solve a lot of problems.
Any other questions? Starnes, Brian, Emil, Adam? Here on the left, Adam, go ahead.
Emanuel, what do you think's been the key to the way that you guys have started the season?
Just staying true to our culture. I mean, that's really how we start off good every year. Just trying to apply what Coach has told us ever since June, July, August. He's implemented all the, all the aspects of our culture, playing hard, our attitude, and then it's up to us to apply that every game. And as in the first half today, we didn't do it very well, and that was the adjustment that we just had to make. And just applying that every game has been the key to us to the start of the season.
Kelvin, I think at one point JVA picked up a foul and JoJo came in for him. What did you think defensively on what JoJo went out there and did?
JoJo, sometimes JoJo doesn't always know whether he's pitching or catching, but he never, ever lacks for effort. His consistency with how hard he plays is what makes that young man special. His plus-minus at halftime, I think, was plus 15. Is that right? You guys probably, I don't have a book here in front of me. I think it was plus 15. Huh? Okay, so he was plus 13. JBA was minus 5. So, I'm not very smart, but I can figure out who you're better with certain guys on the floor. I didn't need that plus minus to tell me, but it told them. There's a reason why JoJo had the highest plus minus on the time. Don't always look at plus minuses and think that they are end all be alls, but sometimes they're skewed based on who you're on the floor with. But JoJo's wasn't skewed. He was our best player the first half. And other guys joined the party in the second half, but JVA didn't change. The other guys did, they changed their attitudes. When I talked to, Marcus Sasser and Quentin Grimes and, Jarris and, Eric Gordon, doesn't matter. I hear from all my former players over the course of time, and I tell them nothing has changed. A lot of people smarter than us can figure out what the problems are. And a lot of people actually think they're smart and think they know what the problem is. But it's usually your attitude and your effort. I'm not getting this. Well, first of all, take out the word I. What are you doing to make us better? Not what are we doing to make you better. Try that the other way first, and you'll be surprised how your problems will get solved. So I don't know how many shots Joe had the first half. I don't even know how many times he's touched it. But he was our best player because he had the best attitude and had the best effort. Now, by me handling halftime like I did, they knew, in back-to-back games, we beat the Big Ten champions and the Pac-12 champions. The best player on the floor both games was Jamal Shed. Jamal knows. He don't need me to holler at him. J1 Roberts is one of the best 4 men in the country. He wasn't today. JBR has probably improved as much as anybody on our team, but he wasn't today. But that's why today has a comma beside it. It doesn't have a period. You don't make judgments on today. You can make an observation, but you shouldn't ever make a judgment on one day. Guys have bad days. They have some days better than others. I have games better than others, I'm sure. And I try to be as consistent as I can, but, we're one of God's children. Things happen sometimes, That's why I don't overreact to a whole lot. I don't draw conclusions on things. Tomorrow's a much-needed day off. This is the time of the season where everybody needs to get to the break a little bit. We've got a bunch of not injuries as much as guys that's got knickknacks, pain. I used to tell kids that, let pain be your guide, but some of them have a higher opinion of pain than others.
Go in the back there, Chris. Chris, go ahead.
Kelvin, Mo was talking about how much time you spent around your program and, how much he's learned from watching you coach. How did that, relationship sort of develop? And, what does it mean to sort of, help coaches?
Well, I started getting to know Mo when I was in the NBA, and he was actually playing for Cleveland. I can't remember if he played with someone after Cleveland. He probably did. Those older guys all wind up playing a couple or 3 teams, trying to extend their careers with another contract. But first time I met Mo, we played in Madison Square Garden. I was coaching Oklahoma, and he was coaching, he was playing for Alabama. And we had a top 10 team in the nation, and so did Alabama. And so we knew each other from that. And then when he got into coaching, he actually called me and said that he would like for me. I have a lot of them ask, can you mentor me? So I can't mentor everybody. But I open my practices up to coaches. Because I try to treat those guys like I would have wanted someone to treat me. I didn't have anybody to do that for me. And I was probably too afraid to ask anyway. I was in Montana. I was 100 miles from anybody anyway. So I had to make a ton of mistakes. I never got to see another coach practice. When I was at Michigan State, I was a graduate assistant, which means I was a glorified manager. I remember we didn't have whiteboards back then, we had chalkboards. So I had to make sure that the erasers were dusted and clean the boards. Sometimes I'd wash Judd's car, help the managers at night wash the clothes, and then I would be the assistant coach for the JV team. But that was the way I got started. Mo got the job at Alabama, was it Alabama State or Alabama A&M? One of them, but then he got to Jackson State. So he's got a rapid rise. But he's done a good job. I watched our game against Missouri. Then I watched our game against Georgetown. I watched our game against Arkansas State. They should have won all three. They won 2 of the 3. But they were leading Georgetown in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and then they beat Missouri. That's not easy to do. Because he's probably, because I'm in the business and I know the answers to these questions, he probably had to raise close to $1 million. And that's not exaggeration. And for his budget, he had to play every game on the road. He probably needed to raise $1 million. Whereas with us, like most Power 5 schools, and when I got here, they were trying to make me go play on the road. And I said, no, we're not doing that. You know, sometimes you have to put your foot down and teach people how to do things. He said, well, Nebraska will, I remember, I'm not going to tell you who it was, but he said, Nebraska will pay us $90,000. Well, good. Give me $90,000 so we can go pay somebody else to come in here. Well, that's not the way we do it, but that's the way we're going to do it. Because that's who we are now. Yeah, I'm not interested in the way you guys did things. You know, the worst thing you could possibly tell somebody from a failed organization is this is the way we've done it. Wait a minute, what'd you say? Well, we're certainly not going to do it that way. But that's the situation he's in. But look at his first half. He was the better coach. He had the better team. His kids were more disciplined. They were tougher. They worked harder. That's Mo. So I was as upset as I was at our team. I kind of said, Mo's doing a good job. Now, once I got their attention, I'm not saying I knew that was going to happen, but, you know, I know how good we can be. Proud of Mo. Proud of Mo. I'm proud of a lot of the HBCU coaches. You know, I would have absolutely been honored to be an HBCU coach, because I think you learn a lot about life. You have an opportunity to mentor and teach your kids lessons that a lot of Power 5 schools don't, because you have haves and have-nots. You know, I was raised coaching at have-not schools, so I know what that's like, and I haven't forgotten where I come from. There's a lot of people forget where they come from once they get to the Power 5. You shouldn't do that. Don't ever forget where you come from. Be appreciative of what you have.
Starting to question.
Mylik, what's your mindset, when you come into the game in terms of, providing a spark, both defensively and offensively when, especially when Jamal comes out?
On offense, it's just staying in attack mode, just being aggressive, just making the right play. If that's the score or just making assists, and just on defense, just being disruptive and getting in passing lanes, just getting loose balls and just getting steals. So I just follow Jamal and the starters whenever I come in the game.
Joseph, you have a question?
Emmanuel, the from your first year dealing with the injuries, certain being a veteran now, what's the progression been like for you on the offensive end to know sort of that you have the opportunity or the green light, more to shoot now and finding your shot and all that kind of stuff?
I mean, since I've been here, just seeing how good of a defensive team we are, and just playing against that every day in practice and seeing how our defense works, it gives me the confidence in games to know that if I can play well in practice and practice well against our defense, and then Coach Sampson always gives me confidence, telling me what are good shots and what not to shoot, and then just taking that and applying it to the game, it just gives me the utmost confidence when I'm on the offensive end.
Kelvin, 10 games in now, I guess about a third of the way through the regular season. I mean, how do you feel, about the progress of this particular team?
Well, when we played Towson State, if you look at the games Towson played since they played us, you realize they're pretty good. University of Utah, they're going to win a bunch of games in the Pac-12, and I'm sure they'll win a bunch of games in the Big 12 next year. I felt like they were pretty good. Dayton, You know, Dayton's a good team. Xavier, the night we played them, was really good. So we've been testing, but we haven't been tested like we're going to be. You know, there's nobody around here naive. But that's why in these games, you know, I think the toughest thing for coaches to do today is to anticipate a schedule. Like, I wish I knew who was coming back next year, because now's the time to jump in certain tournaments. But, you know, we have 5 or 6 kids that may not be here, which means we may have to go to the portal, or we have to go to this or that. You just don't know, you know. Last year we played Alabama, we played Virginia, we played Oregon. Year before that, we played Virginia, Alabama, somebody else. We've always played 3 or 4 really tough non-conference games and a tournament. You know, this year we've got the Big East. We had the Big East Big 12 Challenge. I had no idea who they were going to put us on. I'm surprised that, honestly, we didn't play Connecticut. Then we played Xavier, and they had a couple tough breaks injury-wise, and they're still a good team. Who do they play today? They play somebody today.
I think it was Cincinnati.
They win? Yeah. So, but I know that, you know, we've got a tough game coming up Saturday. And then after that, we've got Penn, who played Kentucky today, and who beat Villanova. No, we played somebody first. Texas State, maybe. I think we played Texas State, then Penn. Then we jumped right into the Big 12. But this schedule's been good for these young guys. JoJo Tugler, Mylik's new. We got so many new guys. But I think our guys are looking forward to getting into the Big 12. I think they are. I think they're excited about playing the Big 12 schedule. Just like we were excited to play the American Athletic Conference schedule. But this one feels a little different.
Xavier just tipped off.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, good.
It's just not,
Yeah.
Kelvin. Any more questions? Everybody good?
Okay.
Coach,
You guys have a good weekend.
Oh, thank you.